The South China Sea is once again on high alert, its waters bristling with tension and uncertainty. Today, February 11, 2026, headlines are dominated by new military exercises near Bajo de Masinloc, a flashpoint that has long been at the center of regional disputes. These are no routine drills. They're a bold statement from the Philippines and its partners, signaling a renewed commitment to defending their interests. Naval vessels slice through the waves, fighter jets roar overhead, and the air is thick with anticipation. This show of force answers months of escalating confrontations in these strategic waters, where every maneuver is closely watched. The world watches, knowing a single misstep could have global consequences, potentially drawing in more nations. Manila signals it will not back down from defending its sovereign rights, standing firm in the face of mounting pressure. The exercises feature complex maneuvers, live fire drills, and joint air patrols, all designed to boost cooperation with allies and demonstrate readiness. For Filipino sailors, this is more than training. It's a mission to protect their nation's territory and resources, a duty they take to heart. The drills are a test for regional stability, highlighting the delicate balance of power in the Indo-Pacific, where alliances and rivalries intersect. Governments from Washington to Tokyo are watching every move, weighing their responses and preparing for any outcome. In the Philippines, national pride mixes with apprehension. Citizens rally behind their government, aware of the risks and the stakes involved. In China, state media calls the drills a provocation, and Beijing issues stern warnings to defend its claims, vowing to respond if challenged. The war of words intensifies, pushing both nations closer to a dangerous standoff as diplomatic channels strain under the pressure. The world holds its breath as tensions reach a boiling point, uncertain what the next move will bring in this high-stakes drama. Bajo de Masinloc, a small triangular chain of reefs in the South China Sea, looks almost invisible on a map, a mere speck surrounded by endless blue. But appearances can be deceiving. Despite its size, it's at the heart of a major international dispute, lying just 124 nautical miles from Luzon, well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, a zone recognized by international law as belonging to the Philippines. For generations, Filipino fishermen have depended on its rich, bountiful waters for their livelihoods, passing down fishing traditions from father to son. Known locally as Bajo de Masinloc and internationally as Scarborough Shoal, it's also called Huangyandao by China, each name a reflection of history, identity, and claim. Each name reveals a different perspective and a deeper, more complex conflict over rightful ownership and sovereignty. The shoal is a vital fishing ground, a lifeline for thousands of Filipino families who depend on the daily catch to survive and thrive. Control over it means economic survival for entire coastal communities, shaping their future and their children's prospects. Strategically, it commands key sea lanes. Whoever controls it can monitor, influence, or even disrupt the flow of regional maritime traffic and trade. For China, securing the shoal would cement its hold over the South China Sea, expanding its reach and influence in the region. For the Philippines and its allies, preventing that outcome is a top priority, one that involves diplomacy, military presence, and international support. The shoal's value transforms it from a simple fishing ground into a pivotal piece in the Indo-Pacific power struggle, where global interests collide. It's a symbol of national pride, economic security, and strategic leverage for both nations, and for the region as a whole. The stakes could not be higher, as the world watches and waits to see what happens next in these contested waters. The Philippines has ramped up military activities in response to mounting pressure. Recent drills near Bajo de Masinloc mark a new, assertive defense posture. Joint patrols with the U.S. and other allies send a clear message of solidarity. The Mutual Defense Treaty with the U.S. and growing partnerships with Australia, Japan, and Canada strengthen Manila's hand. European navies have joined in, upholding freedom of navigation. This coalition makes it harder for any single power to dominate the region. The goal: build a credible deterrent and raise the cost of aggression. Manila's resolve is rooted in alliances, international law, and the determination to defend its sovereignty. China's sweeping claim to the South China Sea is marked by the 9-dash line, covering nearly 90% of the sea, including Bajo de Masinloc. Beijing insists these are its sovereign waters, based on historical rights, putting it at odds with the Philippines and other neighbors. In response to Philippine drills, China condemns them as provocations and foreign interference. Chinese state media frames China as a victim of U.S.-led containment, the Philippines as a pawn. China's Navy, Coast Guard, and maritime militia maintain a constant, intimidating presence in disputed waters. The cabbage strategy, surrounding targets with layers of ships, asserts control without open conflict. At Bajo de Masinloc, Chinese ships have blockaded Filipino fishermen since 2012. Beijing ignores diplomatic protests and international rulings, treating the 9-dash line as a red line. The standoff is unyielding. In 2013, the Philippines took a bold step by challenging China at the Permanent Court of Arbitration, questioning the legality of the sweeping 9-dash line that China uses to claim vast areas of the South China Sea. The 2016 ruling was a sweeping victory for Manila. China's historical claims were declared baseless under international law, and the tribunal sided decisively with the Philippines on nearly every major point. The tribunal affirmed Filipino fishing rights at Bajo de Masinloc, also known as Scarborough Shoal, and condemned China's interference with traditional fishing activities, calling such actions unlawful. For the Philippines, it was not just legal vindication, but also a rallying point for international support, strengthening its diplomatic position and boosting national morale. China, however, rejected the ruling outright, dismissing it as waste paper and refusing to recognize the tribunal's authority or findings. Beijing refused to participate in the proceedings and continued its activities in the disputed waters as if nothing had changed, building artificial islands and expanding its presence. The ruling remains a cornerstone of Manila's foreign policy, a symbol of its rights under international law, but for Beijing, it is a non-starter, ignored in both word and deed. This legal impasse is the central obstacle to resolving the dispute, leaving both sides entrenched and dialogue difficult. It's a clash between faith in international law and China's unwavering insistence on its historical rights, with neither side willing to back down. The world is left watching a tense and ongoing standoff, with no easy solution in sight and the stakes as high as ever. The waters around Bajo de Masinloc have become a stage for dangerous confrontations. Incidents between Philippine and Chinese vessels are now routine, marked by aggressive tactics. Chinese Coast Guard ships have used water cannons and dangerous maneuvers, damaging Philippine boats and injuring crews. These actions, widely documented and broadcast, have sparked outrage and international condemnation. Filipino crews show remarkable restraint, but every encounter risks escalation. Under the U.S. Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty, a serious incident could trigger a wider conflict. The region remains a flashpoint with global implications. The South China Sea is a global crossroads. 1/3 of maritime trade passes through its waters. Disruption here would send shockwaves through the world economy. Beneath the sea lie vast reserves of oil and gas, coveted by energy-hungry nations. The region is also a vital fishing ground, feeding millions and supporting livelihoods. Overfishing and disputes threaten both the ecosystem and food security. Strategically, the sea is a military theater. China's artificial islands now bristle with runways and missiles. For the U.S. and its allies, keeping these waters open is essential for regional security. The South China Sea is where economic, energy, and military interests collide. For the Philippines, the dispute is about sovereignty, economic survival, and dignity. Manila's claim is anchored in international law and the 2016 Hague ruling, seeking to protect its exclusive economic zone and resources. The government wants Beijing to respect the ruling and let Filipino fishermen return to traditional grounds. China, meanwhile, sees the South China Sea as a matter of history, national rejuvenation, and strategic security. The 9-dash line is tied to China's quest for maritime power and regional dominance. Beijing views U.S. alliances as threats and aims to push them out of its near seas. For China, control of the South China Sea is non-negotiable. The ambitions of both nations are fundamentally at odds. The result, a conflict that seems impossible to resolve. The world watches as two visions for the region collide. The future of the South China Sea remains uncertain and tense. The Philippines, with its allies, will keep up assertive patrols and publicize Chinese actions to maintain global attention. Joint military exercises will grow in scale, aiming to deter aggression. China will continue to reject the Hague ruling and maintain its overwhelming presence at sea. More close encounters and confrontations are likely. Diplomatic efforts, including ASEAN's Code of Conduct talks, will struggle to make real progress. The greatest risk accidental escalation leading to a wider conflict. A single incident could trigger the U.S. Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty, drawing in major powers. The next chapter will be shaped by daily encounters at sea and the resolve of leaders in Manila, Beijing, and Washington. The showdown in the South China Sea is far from over.